For more analysis on the DRC peace deal, we're now joined by Godfrey Talabulu from our Johannesburg studio. Mr. Talabulu is the Deputy President for Congo Renaissance, an advocacy NGO on the Congo. Welcome and thank you for joining us. So what's your reaction to the events in Kampala today?
Well, today we've seen a sort of deadlock, and our hopes are very, very high to see the outcome of the agreement, if there is going to be an agreement or not. But so many unanswered questions are still there. They are speaking, both the government and the M23, two different languages, starting from the semantics of what they have to do there, and also the content. So, in one side, the Congolese government is pointing to sign a declaration of surrender, while the M23 are pushing forward to be signing a peace agreement. The second thing is all about the content. From the government side, they want actually a partial amnesty, case by case, to analyze exactly who is responsible of what and who can be ensured a sort of amnesty. While from the M23, we've seen them pushing for a total amnesty. And the last issue is all about where we're going to deploy those to be reintegrated the army. So the government is pushing forward to see them being redeployed far from the eastern part of the region, while the M23 would like to still keep the eastern part. From my point of view, I think the diplomacy hasn't done a lot to put an end to this. It was a huge step forward to end the conflict, at least to gain a probation from the M23 to surrender. But now, the main key issue is to re-establish the root causes of the conflict in the eastern part. It's not about the peace agreement. And I do believe that the main key role players in this are actually the government from both Congo and Rwanda and Uganda. So if those three presidents and three governments decide to sit down and think about the region, much will be done.
But if we're talking about, if we are talking about establishing the root causes of this conflict in Eastern DRC, we're obviously seeing M23 here negotiating with the government, but this isn't the only rebel group there. We have groups such as the Mai, the FDLR. So what's going to happen? Because this is a deal that just involves the government of DRC and the M23. How about those other groups?
Yes, we need to know that actually the root causes is not about all these militias that we see. The conflict in the DRC since 1994 and basically 1996 as well, it's rooted from outside and inside. It's basically an economic conflict. Now, you have to make a deal now with the M23. What's going to happen to the other forces? And it has been proven, evidence proven, that all those forces has been instrumentalized by noble Rwanda and Uganda. The best way to deal with them would be actually to face each other and to talk about the region if we don't want deadly blood war all the time. And I think it's all about the commitment, because signing with one movement doesn't mean that the others are going to stop doing what they've been doing. So it's all about the government, the Congolese government, to stand up and to try with the partnership of the international community to resolve the issue once off. It's all about talking about in the same table Kagame, Museveni, and Kabila discussing who is doing what part of the solution. And lately they've signed a nice peace agreement and security framework which actually stated that each country has to play a major role not to supporting and or backing rebellion. But look at now. Now Uganda has actually received the most of troops. Are they going to send them back to Congo, or are they going to keep them just for the sake of signing a peace of agreement? And for my view, I think dealing with one rebellion group doesn't mean ending the conflict. It's all about facing the sources of those militias, and the sources being the instrumentalization of the human resources in the eastern part of the Congo for economic reasons.
All right, we have to leave it there for now. Thanks very much, Mr. Godfrey Talabulu, for joining us live from Johannesburg.